welcome to Strictly Global Interviews. I'm Dawn Reed, and tonight I'd like to introduce you to this month's NextWave artist of the moment. I think they're awesome. This is Noon 30.
I'm Vivian, and I play the drums.
I'm Aisa, I play the guitar and sometimes bass.
I'm Blue, and I sing and I slap at the bass.
Now, are y'all from DC, or do you come from different areas?
I'm from PG County, Maryland.
I'm from Connecticut, but I've lived here for about 12 years.
And I hail from the lovely Motown, Detroit, Michigan.
Can you tell us some of your influences?
Mine's range. Like, I'm a huge fan of Blonde Redhead. They're like my favorite all-time band ever.
NERD to Phil Collins to Lavender Diamond, which is like my favorite in the world.
Television.
Bob Marley is the one.
I like King Crimson.
Mine ranges from the random homeless man on the street whistling a tune to like any other music, mainstream or not.
So how did you guys come together? How did you meet and start the band?
So Aisa and I were living together as roommates, and we were in another band together, and it wasn't really inspiring either of us. And so I left, and she stayed in, and then me and Mom met Blue, who had been, on the search for some musicians that didn't just like get high and drunk and not play music.
Yeah.
When I left the other band, I asked Blue, we gotta start playing music together. Let's get Aisa to jam with us. We're like, Aisa, come, leave that band. And so we jammed.
In that first jam session, is that when you came up with the song Orphan? I love that song. What's that song about?
The song actually is about my mom, I later realized. And it's basically just like a plead. Like the lyrics is like, don't leave me. I have no mother, I have no father, blah, blah, blah. And my mother never left me or anything, but we were going through a really hard time in my family when my sister had passed away and like everybody was emotionally void. And I guess subconsciously I dealt with that through that song, so that's what it's about for me.
You have a new album that came out. How long did it take you guys to make that album, and like what all went into it?
It took 2 hours.
We're in and out. We thought we were gonna be in and out. We literally thought it was gonna take a week, and then it did a course of 1 season.
Did it?
Yeah, it was 1 season. It was cold when we started, and it was warm when we left. We were very lucky to have the guidance of Jelani from Bamboo Station, who was our producer and our engineer, and he was everything, and he definitely guided us along in the process in a very kind of like, okay guys, like let's concentrate on this area, you know what I mean? So it was an awesome process. It was a long process, so yeah.
And then when we wrapped it up, we also were really blessed to have a friend of ours, Kofi Rozelle of Invisible Arts. He came in and mastered it, and I think for all of us, we were like really surprised because we were told that you could master an album or you couldn't, you know what I mean? But like radio people probably want it mastered, but the layman ear doesn't hear. But when we heard what Kofi did,
You could hear
like,
it.
Yeah, like he tapped a little like, we were like, what did you do? It sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Off that album, you got the French song. Is that song sung entirely in French?
Let's just say we hope to never play it in French.
We will be out of
They will be disappointed in my lack of really speaking French, I guess.
I was gonna ask, what are the lyrics and what do they mean?
Another funny story. I just make it up, whatever I feel at the moment. I know one of the words is Givenchy, which is apparently a clothing line. Yeah. There's a few French, words.
Champs-Élysées.
Yeah, like Champs-Élysées. Vivian went to Montreal and came back.
It was kind of stuck in my head, just even though I know the Champs-Élysées is not in Montreal. Like just all the French.
Oh, it's not? It's basically a song of nonsense words. It's just like very and that was her idea, like just having nonsense words. So
with a bass line to make sure on the
It's a dance song. It's just a dance.
and people like nonsense words in music. So
It's
It's a good time.
yeah.
You guys recently had a tour, right? Were you on a tour?
Yeah.
Where'd you go?
We went to Detroit.
Detroit,
Cleveland.
Chicago.
I think the most awesome moment or show was in Detroit when like blues, like family,
Family, friends.
teachers, like came out. It was like the energy was like Woodstock. It was wow.
Packed the place.
Yeah, we packed the place as a touring band to like bring the crowd. That's pretty.
That's what happens when you're born in Detroit, son. You know?
Whatever.
People come out.
It seems like you guys are like really highly involved with the art scene. Like you played at exhibits and you got visual projections. Did you guys make those, or do you have a friend that did them? Yeah.
Really.
Vivian makes them.
Cool.
Sometimes what we do is that we do guest art and we invite people either onto the stage to paint. One time we had a visual artist actually create a projection
Yeah,
for
exactly.
us.
I totally forgot.
Yeah.
She did something for the Obama.
Obama, yeah. So, and we're actually like exploring. We talked as a band about exploring that more and more, and how we can incorporate different mediums into, you know, one show and one set. So,
Can you tell us about your involvement with Girls Rock DC?
DC. All three of us actually volunteered this year, and then Blue and niece, both of our nieces were involved in it, and it was an awesome experience. Vivian was the drum instructor, I was the bass instructor, and Blue was a vocal instructor.
And then we also coach band.
Yeah, we're band coaches
Yeah, we were
also.
band coaches.
And I led one of the workshops, or co-facilitated one of the workshops. I mean, the Girls Rock concept is just phenomenal for those folks who don't know. It's like young women's empowerment through music. So it's not just the fact that there's a week of camp where girls who may not have picked up any instrument before, you know, get to pick it up, form a band, and perform at the 9:30 club. You know, at the end of the week, they also get workshops on like body image, identity, media literacy, how to start a zine, how to book. I mean, it was just so incredibly phenomenal. It was just a great experience for the adults as well.
Yeah.
The community of Girls Rock DC is so strong and it continues throughout the year. And they actually just got some funding to start after school programs.
Awesome.
Not only did it like help girls, young girls, you know, like empower themselves, but I walked away feeling more empowered. You know what I mean?
And you got any future plans? You got another album, another tour?
We plan to take over the world.
I even wrote that. I said world domination.
Nice. You're up on it, Tom.
Hey, we're Noon 30, and you're watching Strictly Global. Woo!